at its head's way when things start to go wrong.
Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, let's play cards! Darkness has descended. The midnight hour cometh. Beware the Count, Ted Hankey!
This is my territory. Be on your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Yorkshire, Scotty to Hottie, Scott Waits.
And in the lakeside commentary box, it's Vassos Alexander and David Croft.
What a night in store this is going to be. The lakeside awaits this eagerly anticipated clash. We've seen them on this stage before. Last time out, Scotty was too hotty for a man that is as likely to drive you batty as he is to knock you out for the count. You just cannot read the mood of Ted Hankey. One thing is for sure, Scott Waits in the last 12 months has excelled.
But he's never been beyond the quarter-finals here at Lakeside. He is the man on form, he is the world master, Scott Waits, but Ted Hankey has twice been a world champion.
And it's that experience of being a world champion here that should hold Ted Hankey in very good stead tonight. The early exchanges are going to be critical here.
First set, first leg. It's Scott to throw first. Get him on.
Former Grand Slam champion, current world master, Scott Waits gets us underway. And you knew the wait for the first 180 would not be a long one.
What a start to the most eagerly awaited match in round two at Lakeside. Waits starts in the grand manner.
And Hankey replied quite nicely as well.
85.
He's got to stay on the coattails of Scott Waits, not allow the #2 seed any time to settle. Ted says he's going to play his own pace
43.
and his own game. Scott Waits always plays his own game, doesn't bother about the opponent, but has come into a second round match before as the warm favourite and got blasted away by the boy Bunting.
A maximum from Ted. Oh, yes. 2 180s in the first leg. Keep this up, boys.
Doesn't leave Hankey a finish, But what is important is the way that 180 went in. That was trademark Hankey fluency.
140.
Good grouping. Knew exactly where that third was going.
$54. Scott, you require 36.
To take the first leg. Double 18 for Scott Waits. There's the marker. And there's the dart in the double.
And the first leg, Scott Waits. Second leg is Ted to throw first.
Well, it's a best of 7-set contest.
96.
Every leg's as good as that one. We are in for an absolute treat, aren't we?
Can't start another leg with another 180, can he?
125.
No. Pulled the last dart.
Yeah, reached for it a bit too much, didn't he, there? Ted Hankey having to switch a little bit at times. Not opened up this leg in convincing fashion.
Hankey, the champion in 2000
100.
and 2009. Last year he lost in round 1 to Scott Waits. This year in round 1,
60.
beat Clive Barden 3-2, averaging around about 90.
Scott Waits just 1 point ahead on the averages with his win against Andy Bolton.
180.
So that's the first round. These two are nicely in the groove now. Hankey,
64.
though, is just
Scott,
hoping a bit.
96.
As Waits has powered his way into a keen advantage here. Wants double 18 again. Double 9 this time.
78.
Not happy that he missed the double for a 12-dart leg, but it might matter not.
Could have
40.
been an 11-darter that, had he hit the double 18.
Scott require 18.
He has 3 darts, that's double 9, 6 if he needed them. Needs just 1.
Well, that's given the count something to think about.
Third leg, it's Scott to throw first.
Ted Hankey wants to get on with it. He's going to have to wait for Scott Waits, though, because he's just been broken.
Game on. $140.
Both players very much keeping themselves to themselves throughout the build-up here. Been on the practice board, but more intent on this match than he's socialising.
I did have
40.
a chat with Ted about an hour and a half before this match started. He wasn't cheerful.
100.
But he did say he was just set to play his own game, and there'll be no tricks coming up. We shall see. More tantrums than a kindergarten sometimes, this man.
100.
But more great arrows than a host of medieval armies. He really does fling those arrows of desire when he's in the groove.
68. $140.
Does sometimes feel he has to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous comment, Ted Hankey.
Well, only 27 scored here, and
46.
no treble for Scott Waits there. This is a slight opening for Hankey on the Waits throw. And it's an opening, he takes rather well.
This is the third leg of the match, and that was the fourth 180.
What I like there, though, that Hankey knew the opening was there for him, and he had the confidence to just go for it. Nothing forced about those last 3 darts. So for his first leg of the match, it's double top. Lovely marker for him, that.
21.
He just pulled it.
Scott, you require 87.
Treble 17 for double 18. For Scotty Doherty. 2 18s. 2 9s. For the set,
69.
no.
Well,
Ted, you require 20.
he's hit an 18 and a 9 double so far, Scott Waits. Hankey hasn't hit a double as yet. And he's running out of time in this set, but he saves it and breaks Scott Waits.
And the third leg, Ted Hankey. Fourth leg, it's Ted to throw first. Game on.
He didn't block the bed with either of his first two, that was key. Nice dart, good angle for him, plenty of room once again. Thank you very much, Ted Hankey. I'm liking what I'm seeing here from both players.
99.
Doesn't get much better than this. How about another one, Ted?
Oh,
not far away. Rad Butler not screaming 180, our referee on that occasion. The thing is, both of these players have the game to go the distance and keep the standard up.
59.
It's going to be a spectacle, whatever way you look at it.
And the darts are flashy. The darts are very flashy.
80. 95. Ted, you require 81.
Two 180s in this leg. And Hankey could check out in 11 darts here. Not with that single 7, he couldn't. But it's double 10 again for him.
61.
Not quite hitting the double the way he would want to at the first time of asking. But he's bought himself the time, hasn't he?
Waits to pressure the double 10.
100. Ted, you require
not really.
20.
To stay in the set again. Double 10 for the count. Yes.
Yes, that's game shot on the fourth.
And what a
Ted
match.
Hankey.
This is shaping up to be. We're still in the first set.
Game on.
Well, it's a cat and mouse game, this. And I wonder how important are those two missed darts.
60.
One for double 18, one for double 9 that Scott Waits had to win the set. Hankey looked down and out.
81.
But he's feline good now.
$140. $100. $100.
That's perfect once again. Little clip with the second dart, though, didn't help Hankey. And he's certainly sinking his teeth into this, isn't he?
$139.
Good thinking.
$100.
Scott, you require 62.
He's missed 2 darts for the set. He should get at least 1 more. 2 more. Double 16. Double 8. And the tension
46.
palpable as Waits now misses 4 doubles for the set.
You require 120.
And Hankey could step in here for the Shanghai. No, dear. He laughs it off. But to be honest, should have kept his concentration there. He's not put any pressure back on Waits with that.
Require 16.
Petulantly threw those last 2 away. And what does that tell us about Hankey's state of mind? Waits has missed 6 darts for the set. 7 darts for the set.
Well, what Hankey thought was that there's no way Scott Waits is going to miss, but it has been his Achilles heel in the past, and it's coming back to haunt him at the moment. Single 20 leaves bullseye, treble 20 leaves double 5, and the set is Ted Hankey's. Wow!
Shot. And the first set.
Unbelievable! How about that? Scott Waits shut that set away.
Second set, first leg. It's Ted to throw first.
And the Carpenter from Yorkshire could not nail it.
Jarvis Cocker. I think he thinks he might see some common people at the darts. Not a bit of it.
42.
Well, if it carries on like this, he'll see Scott Waits smashed into a pulp.
$93.
I just wonder if
137.
Jarvis Cocker being here is a bit of an omen for a man who won the championship in the year 2000. Ted Hankey did have a disco that year, I can tell you.
57. $60.
After all the fun and games of that first set, the tension has just got to crowd and
60.
players, or the crowd taking a little breather and the players not giving them anything to get back on their feet again. We need another 180 here, Ted, to ramp up the atmosphere. Thank you very much, that'll do.
180.
How much fun is this? 5 180s from Ted Hankey, 2 from Scott Waits. This is only the first leg of the second set.
Ted, you require 82.
So, bullseye for double 16. And 17 for tops to hold his throw at the start of this second set.
42.
But once again, Hankey's a long way clear. He might grimace, but it shouldn't matter.
$58. Ted, you require 40.
Double top then for Hankey at the start of this second set. Double 10. Wants to hit it now and doesn't.
30. Scott, you require 150.
An opportunity then. But Scott Waits hasn't hit more
58.
than 100 in this leg.
Ted, you require 10.
It's been a bit tepid from Too Hotty. Hankey wants 1 for double 2 or 3 for double 1. He doesn't mind this one.
Yes, that's game.
Next door to double top.
Leg. Ted Hankey.
Not a problem. Trina Gulliver likes
Second
it.
leg, it's Scott
The women's world champion.
First. Game on.
And Hankey's quite enjoying himself.
Absolutely in his element. Throwing in the 180s for
100.
fun. Involved in a scrap. A match he was tipped to lose. This is Hankey heaven.
The only thing that's going wrong for him, and fortunately for Hankey, for his opponent as well, are the finishes. Maybe that's because it is so important to try and impose yourself, to establish yourself. Only 27% for Hankey, 15% for Waits. I mentioned it's been his Achilles heel before. We've seen him in the quarterfinals lose out because of that finishing. I thought he'd fix that.
100.
He's hit the ones he really needed to, though. That double 5 for the first set was big.
$94.
The Fordhams are back. Jenny and Andy, Mr. and Mrs. Viking. Great to see you.
140.
He's going to be practicing, Andy Fordham, he says, with Dean Winstanley in the next few weeks. Try and help him get his game back together again. I really would like to see Andy hit the heights once more, the 2004 world champion.
138. Ted, you require 121.
Treble 20. Treble 17 leaves Bull now. Yes, bullseye for Hankey.
96. Scott, you require 36.
Well, back to Waits' favourite double. See if this can address the problem. That's much better.
And the second leg, Scott Waits. Third leg, Ted to throw first.
And a classic example, that little exchange there of actually how little between these two players when they're both on form there is. Hankey misses by the width of a wire and Waits steps in with the very next dart.
'83. $140.
Two very different styles of players as well. Waits rather more forceful. That's not a bad first start for him.
135.
And Hankey, he glides in. It's fluent. It's not where he really wants it, dropping just down below, but it's not normally too much of a problem. But he has this lovely pitch and range.
Hankey caresses the dart into the dartboard, doesn't it? Well, Waits shovels it in, wills it in sometimes.
140.
And Hankey is on his 170.
170.
Won him a world title. He's hit 2 of them on this stage. Could have a hat-trick here. Another treble 20 would have left the Bull. I think the crowd willing him there to repeat the feat.
I think when you hit a 170 to win a world title, you can legitimately
80.
call it your checkout.
Scott, you require 143.
For a little break of throw here, that's the odd 3, but Scott Waits wanted rather more and gets it. Good recovery. Should go bullseye for double top here, Hankey, on this 90. The 25 is not a problem because the single 15 leaves the bullseye. Has to be careful not to hit the first dart, and I think that rather put him off.
47. Scott, you require 20.
2 for Scott Waits to break the throw. Yes.
That's game shot on the third leg. Scott Waits.
That's Anastasia Dobromyslova.
Third leg, it's Scott.
Speaking of
first.
darts players on form,
Game on.
Scott Waits is one, she is another.
Yep, back in the BDO circuit and going for the Women's World Championship once again that she won in 2008.
$41.
Waits rather disgusted with himself that he breaks the throw and then just chucks in a 41. Hankey steps in, sees a bit of control. And there we have Alan Norris's brother Matt on the left-hand side, and then Scott Waits' dad on the right-hand side of your screen.
137.
Lurking in the background, the man they call Steve-O, who helps out Ted Hankey. Sorts out his mind before the game. It's probably the most thankless task in darts.
55.
Mind you, it's easier than his previous job, which was Andy Fordham's fitness trainer for many years.
97. $58.
Business end of this second set. Waits throwing for it.
$140.
Scott Waits wins this set, though. Who goes in the happier at the break? Hankey, that it's level and he's not been blown away? Or
40.
Scott Waits, that he's got himself back into the game?
Scott,
Hankey a little bit miffed,
86.
maybe, that he's chucked away the advantage. Waits a bit miffed that he couldn't take advantage for the first set. It's difficult to tell. 2-16s anyway. Would have
54.
completed the set, but we march on.
I think Hankey's the happier right now. That first set was a big
92.
psychological blow in the Count's favour.
Require 32.
But this is to level the match. 2 16s, 2 8s now for Scott Waits.
16.
No, No.
Ted, you require 116.
It's a huge monkey on his back, this finishing for Scott Waits. Why Hankey did that, I do not know. And once
30.
again, rather petulant Ted, you can't
Scott
give up the leg.
16.
Got to put some pressure on. He got away with that in the first set, but I think Waits now hits this. Double four. It is exactly the same pattern once again,
Yes,
but there's no repeat.
And the
As
second
Scott
set.
Waits hits double
Scott
two
Waits.
to square it all up. There is nothing between these two. You can't take your eyes off it for a minute.
This match is living up to its billing so far. Players will be back on stage in a few minutes' time. It's Lakeside Darts live on ESPN. It's Lakeside Darts tonight and every night this week here on ESPN. Second round matches are finalising the quarter-final lineup. Willy van der Wiel beaten by Martin Atkins earlier tonight. First time in the last 8 for Martin. Later tonight, Gert de Vos of Belgium versus Christian Kist of the Netherlands. And Alan Norris plays last year's runner-up, Dean Winstanley. The Ted Hankey-Scott Waits match is about to continue. So far, very good. Back to Vassos Alexander and David Croft.
Yeah, we'll give both players a B- so far because the scoring has been very impressive at the doubles. Could do with a little tidying up. 5 180s from Ted Hankey. I just got the feeling he was losing his fluency towards the end of the second set. Scott Waits hanging on in there and just getting over that problem of finding the target at the end of a leg.
It's hard school. The David Croft School of Darts marking, B-. 7 180s, B-.
It's not where you start, it's where you finish, Vassos, in this sport. Scores for show, doubles for dough. These two would be skint if they were playing for
Third set, first
money on
leg.
this form
It's
every
Scott
week.
to throw first. Game on.
So settling back into it again, and what is a best of 7 set match now becomes a best of 5 set match.
100.
Scott Waits, the second seed from Halifax, 34 years of age. Ted Hankey, 43, who is the 15th seed this year.
60.
Lives in Telford in Shropshire, but originally from Stoke and a big fan of Stoke City.
$136.
And they have met a couple of times on this Lakeside stage in the World Championships, of course, when Scott Waits won 3-0 last year.
59.
They had a decent contest in the final of the Lakeside Classic in 2008, which Hankey won 4-2, away from the TV cameras on that day.
100.
Met in the Grand Slam as well, the year that Ted really did lose his rag up in Wolverhampton. There's a great history between them.
100.
Waits finding himself on 165. He's taken a huge chunk out of it, with Hankey back on 282.
But the perfect leg so far for Scott Waits after the break to just feel good once
58.
again up on this
Scott,
stage.
you require
Yeah,
32.
4 visits, 4 scores of 100 plus, 2 16s for the leg. Big pause before he goes for the double 8, and now the double 4.
No
And he's
score.
bust it.
Which might actually do him a bit of good as he shakes his head once more. And it's the throwaway darts coming up from Ted Hankey. I don't think there was any nonchalance into that single 4. It was just a slight error from him. But Scott Waits has still got 6 darts, and the trouble is he's thinking to himself at the moment,
32.
I might need all 6 for this double 16. Way away. Not quite sure what's going on with Scott Waits here.
28.
Inexplicable.
$99.
Well, it's not his favourite double 16, but 5 times he's gone for it, 5 times he's missed it. This is a double 2 to hold his throw.
Yes, that's game shot on
Finally.
the first leg. Scott waits. Second leg is Ted to throw first. Game on.
All Hankey has to keep thinking is that if I can regain my scoring fluency, Scott will give me a chance. He's had 12 more goes at a double as Scott waits, which he has needed.
99.
Ted Hankey looking at the scoring board there, not because he wants to know what the score is, not because he's thinking too hard, he's going to go for a 180 here. Just wants to keep Scott Waits lurking in the background for a bit longer. He's
59.
slowed the pace down a bit as the man from Telford.
Yes, Scott waits.
$140.
What I don't understand, though, is this the same man who told me an hour before the game, I'm going to play my own pace?
140.
Because that's not what Ted Hankey's doing now, is he? He's playing at a slower pace because he thinks it might put Scott Waits off.
$98.
Well, Ted might say that's the pace he is choosing to play at now.
But it's not the pace he was throwing in the first set when he was hitting all those 180s.
17. Scott, you require 164.
Well, let's see if it's worth a wait then. 164. Unlucky.
$43. $42.
He's lost his rhythm just for the moment, has the count.
Scott, you require 121.
Gone from a nice tempo to a jazz freestyle at the moment. I'm not sure where the rhythm is. But you know what? Scott Waits is kind of making it easy for Hankey here.
45. Ted, you require 160.
Feel the tension here in the box, out in the arena as well.
58. Scott, you require 76.
So for a break of throw, let's see how long this takes. Beautiful first dart. Close.
60.
Closer. But once again,
Ted,
doubles go begging
102.
for the number 2 seed.
Hankey to hold his throw. There's the treble 20. 10 or 2. He's going 2 for double top.
82.
Yeah, that was unlucky.
Scott, you require 16.
Quite a steal. 9 attempts at double 8 for Scott Waits, and he hasn't hit one of them in the match so far. That's how bad the problem is getting. 10 attempts. And it's way away. He shouldn't be that far away, and he knows it. Double 2 saved him in the last leg.
12.
Oh dear.
Ted, you require 20.
Hankey for double 10 then. That is the beautiful marker that he wanted. Off those smooth barrels and in.
Yes, that's game shot on the second leg. Ted Hankey. Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Not often you say this, but Ted Hankey holds his throw in the total of 24 darts. If Scott Waits wants a drink at the end of this match,
137.
he'd better have a pint, because if he's after a double, he might be waiting all night for it.
$100.
He has slowed down, hasn't he, Ted Hankey?
100.
See, the scoring's there, isn't it? 0 from 20 on his doubles when he's been going for double 16, double 8, and double 4 so far. Scott Waits.
100.
They're the doubles that you go for more often than any other. It's a major problem that only he can solve. because he's on his own up there, and it's getting ever lonely, I think, for the man from Yorkshire.
100.
Given what he has done in the past 12 months in the world of darts, that is astonishing. 0 from 20, going for 16, 8
Scott
and 4.
Require 164.
Grand Slam champion, World Master champion. Anyone think the doubles are a bit smaller for him tonight? Just can't hit him.
64.
But Hankey's lost his scoring.
$44. Scott, you require 100.
Well, he might end up on double top here, which a change could be as good as the rest. 2 tops, possibly. See, there's one of them. Lovely!
Yes, that's game shot.
Really lovely
And the
dance.
third leg, Scott waits.
Oh, it's just like a
Fourth leg,
bus,
it's
isn't it?
Ted to throw first.
Can't hit a double for ages, and then 2 come along all at once.
97.
Such a bizarre sport this is sometimes. But I do feel that for Hankey to get back into this game, he's just got to stop trying to slow
80.
the pace down and play his own game a little bit up there. And he'll rediscover his form, I think, through that.
It's almost like he's trying to get in close and mix it up.
80.
A boxer in the ring, and what he's just got to do is stand there and take the blows and give some back.
This is exactly what they were doing in the first set, wasn't it? Hey, haven't had a 180 for a while. Waits keeps us waiting again, but you know what? A sensible switch down. Didn't think he could force the third dart through. Now this is good from Hankey. 180 on away. No, and he got carried away. Those first 2 darts, perfect for him to slip that third into the treble 20 bed as well.
If he'd done it, it would have left him on a finish.
100.
Yeah, you see, that's why you get the grimace there as well, because Hankey knew it from the first dart, and that's where he wants it.
45.
Yeah, the 180's coming, my friend. Don't worry.
58. Ted, you require 154.
So treble 18 would be rather handy, or treble 14. He's just checking. He's got 74 left.
98. Scott, you require 124.
To win the set. And, strays a little bit. Twice.
74.
Lovely switch.
Ted, you require 56.
Tops for Ted. 10s for Ted. No.
36.
So this is set point Scott
Scott, you
Waits.
require 50.
What double does he pick here?
Well, I'd go 10 double top if I was Scott Waits at the moment. Might go 14 double 18 because he likes that one as well.
Yes,
well
that's game
thought out.
shot. And the third set, Scott Waits.
And one of the most tense sets of darts I can remember in a long while goes to Scott Waits.
140.
With that lovely double 18 there, giving Dad something to cheer about. Well, Ted's a black country boy, isn't he? I think that's Robert Plant under that hair.
140.
He's turned his back on Ted.
$100. $98.
Nine decent darts from Hankey at the start of this fourth set.
123.
He could do this in 12 darts, or he could set this up.
They're trying to set it up using the outer ball. 83 left.
57.
That's okay at this stage of the match, unless Waits put in a 180. I don't think it would really put much pressure on the Hankey throw here.
96. Ted, you require 66.
Could well go bull for double-8 here. Just like that, beautiful.
Game shot on the first leg, Ted Hankey. Second leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Normally with Ted Hankey, you'd say don't try this at home, kids, but if you are on 66, that's not a bad way of doing it, to be fair.
100.
Scott Waits reached the quarterfinals at Lakeside. The first 3 times he qualified. Last year beaten in the second round.
60.
He's through to the second round once again and involved in a real battle.
$60.
It's a game, though, he could be winning, Scott Waits, rather more comfortably than he is at the moment. And it's a game where he's just lost his all-round darting performance.
Well, it's not often you give Scott Waits 7 darts
60.
for a set and win it.
He is the man, of course, that gave James Wade 8 legs in a row in the Grand Slam final and came back to win.
$140.
Ted Hankey himself is a man for a few comebacks. The Grand Slam this year, he was 15-9 down, I think, at one stage to Mark Walsh.
58.
Lost 16-14 in the end. Really good semi-final that was. The quarter-final, I should say.
140.
As it stands, this match is going with throw. He hasn't always gone with throw, but we're on throw. Treble 13 now, maybe, for Scott Waits.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to fill him up, would he? Beautiful.
159. Ted, you require 101.
Yeah. Round of applause from that man. Enjoying the action, but this is just to break the throw, so a bit on this. I think it's on the 25. Tops then.
61.
It wasn't the 25, it was the ball.
Scott, you require 24.
Scott Waits to hold his throw. They're getting further away.
No score. Ted, you require 40.
I tell you what, far enough away to pack their suitcases and go on holiday, those darts. Hankey's got to finish. That'll do.
Yes, that's game shot on the second leg. Ted Hankey.
All right, it's going to be another Oki horror show for them, I'm sure.
Third leg, it's
But
Ted to throw first.
Hankey's got the breaker throwback.
Game on. $95.
Aiming to become Scott Waits, the first man
57.
since Ray van Barneveld to win the Zuiderdown Masters and then go on to win the Lakeside a few weeks afterwards. His form in Holland just before Christmas.
60.
Absolutely electric.
Barney likes a double 18. And we all like a R.
140.
I was going to say a treble 20. We all like an R. We don't mind a 140, but we love a 180.
100.
I did see a group of pirates earlier. I'm sure they like an R as well.
$55. 40.
Could do with a treble here.
100.
Finds it. So he's on a finish.
I think both players could do with some momentum. Hankey maybe has learnt a few things from Phil Taylor here. He's starting to chew his flights. When Taylor does it, it means he's in trouble. Ted does it, I think he's just hungry, but he's not happy with
36.
his game at all.
Scott, you require 149.
Lack of consistency all round. But this will help put a smile on the face of a man who, remember, had 4 ton-plus finishes in his first round game. He might have his second of the night here. Oh, he's missed double 16 again.
133. Ted, you require 170.
1. Oh.
Back to those Pirates
92.
again. Wasn't right that first start for Hankey to follow it.
16.
So, underneath the mistletoe, can Waits kiss double 8. Beautiful.
Yes, that's game shot on the third leg. Scott Waits.
First time he's hit it, I think.
Fourth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Ted shakes his head in the background there, but well, he might. Lost the throw. That was for a break for Waits. So that advantage that he's steadily
100.
built up in what is, yet again, a very tense set of darts. Lost again.
60.
And then tries to speed up to get himself back into it, find some momentum, and that didn't work either.
When
96.
Ted's not happy, we know about it.
$60.
He's not going to worry too much about this leg of darts if he loses it. He will have the throw in the last leg of the set. That will be very intriguing
45.
in the context of where the match goes. Just in case you thought that the real royalty were here tonight.
$100. $100.
The match has just gone a little quiet. I think the crowd could do with a maximum or a big finish just to get them going.
Well, this is it. The crowd have had
81.
little or nothing to shout about in terms
Scott,
of
you require
explosive
160.
excitement now for a couple of sets. This will get them going, though. 160 finish was on. But that will do nicely. Hankey, long way behind. If he thought about it, he'd say, right, yeah, 180 here.
60.
Or put pressure on a man who
Scott,
quite
you
clearly
require
cannot hit his
20.
doubles. But I don't think Ted's frame of mind took that on board. Double 5 for Waits. That's
Yes,
in
game shot on the
for
fourth
once.
leg. Scott Waits. Fifth
And
leg,
now we
it's
get
Ted to
down
throw first.
to a leg of darts that is vastly important for this man's existence at Lakeside.
140.
Hankey wins this, then it really is game on. Waits wins it. I think you see Hankey capitulate in what could be a final set.
$100.
Good start from Hankey, 140. He'd like to follow it up with at least 100 now,
60.
but hasn't.
Got all the momentum, Hankey, at the moment of a sports car with its handbrake on.
90.
Can't keep the wheels rolling.
$43.
Remember, he was 2 legs up in this set. It's almost gone into darting reverse.
101.
Should be thinking, though, I've got 6 darts from 258. I'm good enough to take the leg out, but that's not where his brain is at the moment at all.
55.
He's scratching around for some inspiration up there.
A 140, followed by a 60 and a 43 and a 55 for Ted Hankey.
60.
Nothing special from Scott Waits, but he's on a finish first.
So this is timely, it really is.
137.
And he needed that. He really did. That's put the pressure on.
Scott, you require
Now,
150.
Waits is good enough to withstand that pressure. But tonight, he's not quite on his A game. So Hankey's got a chance for the set here.
100.
He has to take it.
He will have
at
least 1 dart, you'd think, at a double for the set. 1 for double top for Ted Hankey to level the match at 2 sets all.
46.
And you look
Scott,
at that expression, you think
50.
not only has he just chucked this set away, but he's chucked the match away as well. That's where his head is. Double 18 now for Scott Waits. Double 9 for Scott Waits. It's all down to this. And he is not up to the job.
Ted, you require 20.
He's punching with a feather duster as the number 2 seed. Can Hankey provide the uppercut on double 10? Double 5. Yes, it's 2-2. It's scrappy, and it's scrappy. But for Hankey, that dart was tidy. And if he can get his head right, boy, oh boy, are we in for an explosive end here.
Neither player will be happy with their performance. The anger management is going okay for Ted, but can it last? We'll be back in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to the Lakeside. Here's a quick recap of what's happened so far and what's on the way. Martin Atkins of Leeds has won through to the quarter-finals for the first time in his darts career. Later tonight, Gert de Vos of Belgium and Christian Kist of the Netherlands will play for a place in the last 8. So will England's Alan Norris and Dean Winstanley. Both matches live here on ESPN. Centre stage as we speak, Ted Hankey and Scott Waits. First for the winner, it's 2-2. We need someone to rev this match up. We need someone to really liven things up and grasp the opportunity that's there to win the match and record a victory. Both said they were going to give each other a bit of a pasting in this match. It's been a bit subdued. Come on, boys, let's get it going. Let's get it on here. Back to Vassos Alexander and David Croft.
It's time to pull up the socks, to tighten up the belt, and for someone to take this game by the scruff of the neck, quite frankly. And whether it's Scott Waits or Ted Hankey, toss a coin at the moment, because they both have their vulnerability, and it's been evident throughout the first 4 sets.
It's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Waits has been especially vulnerable between the edge of the board and the wire on the inside of the
60.
double. And Hankey's been especially vulnerable between his ears.
Yeah. Waits been beaten by the board and Hankey been beaten by himself. You're quite right there. So far,
60.
The first 9 dart average tells that the scoring potential is very much there. Waits nearly 100, bossing it slightly to Hankey's 95. But it's when they get down to a double that they've dragged
59.
each other down. And they've descended downwards like some alpine skier ever since the first set. That's nice from Hankey. In the first set, he was following those in and hitting the 180s.
140.
But we haven't had a 180 from him, really, since, I think, the start of the 3rd set.
Start of the 2nd.
They are.
We had 7 in a set and a
82.
leg, and we haven't had one since. But here we go, though. It's basically best of 3 for a place in the quarterfinals at Lakeside.
See, it's the problem they've had at the end of the leg
100.
that has then mentally transferred itself into the next leg. Hence, they haven't thrown with the freedom and the flair that we were getting right from the outset.
60.
And it becomes a very tiring sport, does darts, when mentally you're having to exercise the demons a bit, where you're having to brush aside your mistakes from the past,
100.
when you're concentrating too much on correcting yourself rather than just enjoying the flow of a sport.
$140.
On the hockey, though, this is
101.
to break the throw. He started with a bullseye. An 11 will leave double top for Ted Hankey.
61.
1 out of 12 on double
100.
tops for Ted Hankey, and it's a double he professes to love. Waits has 2 darts for that double top. And wanted 22 once again. The pattern of the game continues, albeit Hankey wasn't far away.
Waits snatched at that last dart of a double.
Shot and the first leg.
Hankey finessed that one in.
Second leg, it's Ted to throw first.
And he's broken the throw as the 2-time champion.
That's exactly what he would have wanted there. A double world champion. And that's a nice start to this leg as well. Waits with that steely determination.
140.
But a look almost of resignation on his face as he only gets the 140. Thought there really should have been more in that. Yeah, he should be satisfied with the 140. He should have enjoyed the reply.
100.
Rather than getting a bit frustrated that he's not hit a maximum.
$60.
Because then you went to 60 and you're damn right disgusted with it.
$26.
Well, that's no good. Here's a chance for Waits.
$95.
Still Hankey's throw, though. And switching to the outer ball, just in case he couldn't find a treble 20, and he would have left himself 170, but that's handily placed. 130's okay for Hankey.
95. Ted, you require 130.
He either finishes on bull or double 5, both of which he quite likes. Needs the treble 20 now for the bull. And bullseye to hold his throw. Finds the angle to throw from. And just threw too far
96.
Across.
Scott, you require 111.
Probably start treble 20 here. 19 or 15. 19 for double 16. Yes, Scott Waits has got one.
Leg. Scott Waits. Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Breaks straight back with his highest checkout of the match.
140.
And the force of that last dart there probably sunk this Winmore board further back into its fixings.
123.
Almost launched himself at the board with that last dart.
It was weighty from Waits, wasn't it?
140. $140.
Blow for blow. This is the best leg of darts we've had in quite a long while.
80.
Until Waits rather slips up at the end there. This is that opening again. Hankey should say, I can do this. 2-3-8. Down.
60.
Not even left himself a finish.
Just having a think. Just almost trying to motivate himself. And what's this?
Well, the score's right on the stage. And Scott Waits maybe just trying to weigh up. Do I go for this? Do I try and set it up?
Scott, you require 141.
Either way, went and got himself a little glass of water and he's now all set again. But no doubting that players don't want to hang around a bit. That's unlucky.
130.
Through for the ball, hoping he hit the 25 and got it.
$76.
The Jennings are in,
Scott, you
trying to seize
11.
up any potential opponents. The quarter-finals onwards, double 4 now for Waits. There you go.
Yes, that's game shot.
Holds his throw.
And the third leg, Scott Waits. Fourth leg, it's Ted to throw first.
Since the first set, both of these players
96.
have been like golfers who've lost their swing and they're just trying to damage limitation around the course and try and play themselves back into form.
$60.
Two players that know each other's game inside out. Maybe Ted Waits is expecting the Scotty too hotty avalanche. This is his supporters at the back. I'm sure Waits can hear him at the front. And maybe Waits is waiting for the Hankey volcano to blow that's not coming.
I think they can hear that bloke in Halifax.
$80. $123.
Nice recovery. Should follow this in.
140.
Well, during the first set, we were reaching for those 180 records.
140.
I think we can put them away now.
Ted, you require 144.
Still could be a long way to go here, I tell you. But Ted's really got to up his game
54.
to put Scott Waits under pressure, and he's not done it on his throw once again.
78.
For the set, this. Single 20. Double top.
58.
It's a familiar pattern.
90.
They'll go bullseye. Tops. Yes!
Yes, that's game shot on the fourth leg.
There's a little bit of hanky-panky.
Fifth leg, it's Scott
It's like he's
first.
plucking cherries on a summer's day. Bullseye double top with effortless ease. And then in goes Scott Waits with a 180 that was like polishing an apple as a little snack. Just seemed no trouble
42.
whatsoever there. They explode into life, these two, from out of nowhere.
Waits, though, throwing
45.
4. A 3-2 lead in sets.
Such a simple sport, this, when you don't think about it.
100.
Hankey just went up there, bull double top, beautiful. And Waits stepped straight in, didn't allow himself to reflect. This is a really
96.
good leg of darts for him, though.
$134.
Good darts at the 19s, 2 of them. To keep himself in touch, Ted Hankey. Now, what can Waits take out of this 180?
60.
Just the 60.
See, that 134 just put a seed of doubt in Scott Waits' mind that, you know, I've not shaken Ted off here. He goes for the 25 to make the finish easy. Easier if Scott Waits misses this Shanghai. 2-2 in sets, 2-2 in legs, 120 each. Waits to double top first. Familiar pattern. Scott Waits puts himself in pole position
120.
and then loses places off the line. Hankey to reply. Can he nick it? What a dart! It would have been.
Scott, you require 20.
These are pressure darts. And
Yes,
that
that's game shot out
is a
the fifth
magnificent
set.
dart under pressure from Scott Waits.
6-set first leg is 10 to throw first. Game on.
And Hankey, unusually swift to the hockey.
58.
He asked all the questions of Scott Waits, but the man from Yorkshire had the final answer. Really intriguing leg of darts, that. But Waits has got the momentum behind him
139.
for the third time in this match. He's gone ahead. Oh, Hankey comes back lovely.
55.
First 180 since the end of the second set. Should we have another?
140.
Did Ted Hankey just skip to the board?
Yes, he did. Almost the finger shooting that Eric Claris used to give us in this World Championship, the Sheriff from Belgium.
Ted Jerichois, 123.
Single 16. Leaves bullseye, he's going for it. He's got it!
Game shot on the first leg.
Even Rab Butler smiles at that one.
Second leg, it's Scott to throw first.
The mercurial Ted Hankey. The sort of man that'd give a psychiatrist convention a whole week's worth of discussion papers.
But how classy was that? A 12-dart leg.
140.
And Waits immediately under pressure.
$134.
If you're just tuning in, it's been like this all match. The fact is that it hasn't, though, and I don't know why we had the slip down, because it started like this. And it's like someone just flicked a little switch back on again.
53.
There will be people who watched the first set, had a phone call or something to do for 4 sets and came back.
100.
I'd have thought this has been one of the most magical matches in the history of the Lakeside World Championship. Well, it dipped a little, but we could be set
93.
for a grandstand finish.
Ted Jerichois, 121.
Treble 20. No, can't be done now.
I'd have said 3 sets ago, it's fine, he's got 6 darts from here, but I think Waits is in the mood now to
45.
take this 161 out.
Scott Jerichois, 161.
Just giving himself a bit of a G-up.
$60. Ted Jerichois, 76.
To break the throw then. Single 16 double top. Easy, isn't it now?
Yes, that's game shot on the second leg.
That is his rhythm.
Third leg, it's Ted to throw first.
From the second, that third dart left his right hand, you had no doubt where it was heading.
45.
Into the double top bed. 27 darts from Ted Hankey in this set, and he's won both legs. 12 darts and a 15 darts.
60.
Then he starts with a 45. Waits responds with a 60.
60.
And Hankey's back with a 60. They need to snap out of this.
Yeah, it's the opening 2 legs are important, obviously,
60.
but this now becomes a bit more troubling and worrying, because you can see that the end of the set could be nigh. For Hankey, levelling up the match. For Waits, it's about hanging on in there a little bit and trying to prolong this. Remember, if he wins this set, he's into the quarterfinals. And that'll help, won't it? But I bet you Hankey replies with a maximum of his own. I'm going to lose money on this man tonight. That was perfectly set up for him again. But a 140 is a good reply, forcing weights to up the ante.
85.
Three great darts from 171.
116.
He's made ton plus checkouts, a little forte here, but
60.
not at this time.
Ted, you require 40.
And incredibly, to whitewash the 6th set, Hankey wants double 10. Still there for him. There you go.
Yes, that's good shot. And the 6th set. Ted Hankey.
We've had half a dozen sets. They haven't all been 6 of the best, but for the 3rd time now, we're all square in this second round contest.
Game on.
Hankey won the 1st set after Waits missed 7 darts at a double to take it. Waits led 2-1 and 3-2, but it's all about this set now.
80.
And this is now where little crucial things like bounce outs come into play. Scott Waits first of the match. You don't want to be hitting the wire.
100.
Lovely.
140.
Overextending a touch again, which is understandable now. And that's lovely for Hankey. The angle's right again. But once more, he can't fill up the bed with a maximum. Well, me old cocker, what do you make of this? Ton 40 on the Waits throw for Ted Hankey here. He is taking Scott Waits into the trenches now. Has the Yorkshireman gotten a big enough shovel to come out on the other side? He's going to have to hope Hankey misses this.
Said you require 121.
1-2-1 for an early break in the deciding set. Oh, a second bounce out of the leg. He can't now finish. It's just taken 1 out of them, but 61. That's a great last dart.
Yeah, that's 1 apiece though, so they've evened themselves up. Brad Butler retrieves the darts for Hankey.
Require 82.
And Waits, ball for double 16. Hit the 1, it's going to have to be treble 19 or treble 15. The treble 15 would have left his favourite double. I'm not sure why he didn't go that way.
50. Ted, you require 60.
2 darts, a double top for Ted Hankey.
That's game shot on the first leg.
He has Ted the early Hankey. Break in the deciding set.
Ted to throw first. Game on.
It's the first of 3 legs, unless we get to 2-all, in which case it's a tie break and we'll talk again.
60.
And Mum up on her feet, pleading with a boy.
59.
Well, all of a sudden, Hankey becomes the warm favourite. He has broken the throw.
59.
And he's nothing if not a battler up on that stage.
Hankey becomes the favourite in what is his
59.
15th year at the Lakeside. Scott Waits' 5th year at the Lakeside. But you ask, how many times has Hankey gone into the trenches? And when I say that, a 177 there. How many times has this man gone to a final set in a match here? Unlucky Scott Waits with another bounce out. 12 times Hankey's been taken all the way to a final set. 8 times he's come out on top. He's only lost 3 times going into a final 58. Set. One of those was against Wayne Jones, 2002, where he lost 3-2 in the second round. And one was in the quarter-final against Dave Chisnell. But he's the man for battle, Vassos.
And he is the first to a finish, and he will have 6 starts if he wants them from 147. $14 or $18, which way are you going, Ted?
91.
Ted Hankey, 56 points away from a 2-leg lead in the deciding set.
59.
That's not enough from Scott Waits.
56.
Not nearly enough. 16 for tops for Ted Hankey. There's the marker.
36.
The agony goes on, but Waits is back on 208.
100.
Scott Waits
Ted, you require 20.
puts some sort of pressure on. But Hankey is impervious to it.
Second leg. Ted
And is he
Hankey.
now looking like a man imperious up
Third
there?
leg, it's Scott to throw first.
He looks like a man, Hankey, that wants this now, that knows
Very
it's within
best
his
of order,
grasp.
please. Game on. $51.
And Scott Waits' shoulders sagged on his way to the oche just then. Only 51. But
59.
Hankey responds with only 59.
Wonder if Waits is thinking back to a quarter-final 2 years ago and the quarter-final the year before that, where he lost in a final set decider, where the
40.
pressure got to him. Is he starting to crack? Hankey drawing on those reserves of coming through these close encounters. It's not quite so alien to the double world champion as it is to Waits.
Well, the count smells blood.
$60.
Scott Waits has found only 1 treble in 4 visits in this leg.
94.
And Ted Hankey is on 108.
He can go various
60.
ways on this.
Ted, you require 108.
Treble 20 or treble 18. Treble 20 for double 14. He's coming back
56.
on 52. Scott Waits on 190 here. Needs to make a massive dent in this to put pressure on the 2-time world champion. The underdog
52.
here, who's had it rough, but now could be barking at the moon. No!
32.
Hankey right
Scott, you
at the
require
death.
90.
Can't apply the killer bite.
20 for the bullseye. Bullseye must hit it.
58. Ted, you require 20.
It's all down to double 10. On the wire. A breath and a week away. And Hankey can't get the winning line crossed. No, doesn't matter how much you look at it, Ted, it didn't go in. Waits on double 16. He's been awful on this double. Still is double 8. Still is on that. Double 4, the saviour. Yes!
That's game shot on the third leg. Scott Waits.
The twists and the
Fourth leg
turns
is Ted to throw
on the
first.
swings and roundabouts of this lakeside stage continue.
Hankey has the dance,
77.
but a bounce out at the start of this leg. $57 points on the floor for the count. Waits must break, though. That double 4 kept him alive, but he's still in intensive
96.
care.
140.
And now we're getting a proper dart match, aren't we?
Ted Hankey had 5 darts for a place in the
58.
quarterfinals. It doesn't look like it's bothering him.
140.
He's a long way adrift, but you know what? A 180 would turn this leg around. 1, 2, 3. Keeps up a little bit of pressure, which is all heaped on Hankey. Wants another treble for double 12. And he survives the pressure. It's nonchalant for the count.
Ted Hankey!
One of his hardest victories on a stage where he's twice become world champion, takes Ted Hankey into the quarterfinals, and Scott Waite, one of the favourites for this year's tournament, is out.